Welcome, everybody, to Midday Magazine for this Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Have your host, James, here with you. And we're joined right now by our friend, Ashley. She is the Violence Prevention Specialist and Advocate over at the Wisconsin Rabbits Family Center. Ashley, good to have you in studio. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me back. Good to be here.
Always appreciate the time. We want to shout out our Wisconsin Rabbits Family Center right away. A big thank you to you and the staff over there, all the work that you guys are putting into our community. Greatly appreciate you. I would like to think that even if I wasn't a board member, I'd be saying this stuff, and I am not alone. I'm merely a megaphone for this community, repeating what I'm saying and appreciating so much of the work that's going in to our community and to our people in this area. And one of the more vital things that is going on, Ashley, you are on the front line of when it comes to our kids and teens. And for those that don't know, Teen Violence Prevention Month is going on, and we want to talk a little bit about that and what that is.
Yeah, so every February, since actually it's been 15 years this year, so it started in 2010, February was recognized as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, so we just use that month to spread the awareness, talk about how important it is to, start healthy relationships, good boundaries, good respect, and then just, keep on remembering it throughout the year, but February is just that month that we hit it a little bit harder.
This is certainly an issue that doesn't have an age discrimination. We've seen that, whether it's in the news or the stats. Young and old can all be, deal with this, for lack of a better way to put it. Well, we also understand, I think, more and more in our society, if we can reach people when they're young and build good habits when they're young, whatever we're talking about in life, whether it's, just a work ethic or it's not smoking or it's something along these lines, we see the stats for this one. We're so much, we see improvement in these things. We see a betterment in these things. Yep. While some of this subject matter can be a little opinionated, there's things like this that we just see the numbers. The data shows us that when we reach kids when they're younger, we see an improvement in those households. We see improvement in that age range and that. So part of what the importance of this is ending this cycle. Is stopping this. So many people dealing with domestic violence, it's something that they learned, that they, for again, lack of better words, inherited from a sibling or a parent or something like that. Yeah. But reaching young people, like reaching adults, can be difficult, even on this subject matter. Boy, trying to talk to teenagers, I do it all the time, and it's difficult, Kelly. Ashley, it's not one of those things that is always the easiest. So on that front, how do you approach this subject when you're first walking into this conversation with teenagers?
Yeah, so every situation's kind of different. It depends on what the group of students is involved in. Usually if they're in clubs that are already spreading kindness, it's a little bit easier to throw out the pitch and idea of respecting people. But I've presented to kind of any and all groups of teens, and really I'll just kind of try to bond with them right away, maybe crack a couple jokes that they know about, just share some kind of like common interest that we have, and then I kind of just dive right into the seriousness and hope that they roll with me, and it's been working out pretty well so far, so I can't complain.
If you find something that works,
right? You got to roll with it, then.
Especially in this regard.
Yeah.
When it comes to the feedback from them, are there certain questions that stand out, or certain things that they're saying that maybe we wouldn't know about? Especially, my kids are in their mid-20s; they're out of school. The people that were a little more removed from the current schooling and that.
Yeah. There is a question that kind of comes up often, and it's relating to the idea of like consent, and it's not so much what consent is, but what consent is not. So I think a lot of people are being told that like no is no, and that's all that can mean no, but there are so many other things that mean no too, like just freezing, not saying anything, your body becoming stiff, kind of avoiding whatever the topic is that's coming up as well. So a lot of kids don't know that all of those things also are not counting as consent.
It's something I think adults could relearn too.
For sure.
That's a really, really important one to mention. I'm really glad you brought that up. And again, I think that's good for young and old, but incredibly impactful when it comes to young people. Again, it's rewiring some of these habits and rewiring some of the thinking that we have with some of these subjects.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to this one where as adults, we try to remember what it's like when we're younger, and it gets harder and harder the older you get. But one of the things that I think remains true is the idea that, well, being young is tough.
is.
No matter what the decade, no matter what the era, it can be difficult.
Yep.
And I hope, and I ask this all the time of my generation and older generations, to have some empathy for the younger generations when it comes to certain things we never had to deal with. I got picked on in school like a lot of kids, but I got to go home and I got picked on by my dad. No, I mean, it was a little thing between us,
Yeah.
but it was a sanctuary.
Yeah.
I at least knew that there, even when my dad picking on me, it was in jest, it was in fun.
Yep.
I had that relief. I had that break. Kids don't really have that anymore. Like they go home and there's social media waiting for them right there.
Yep.
And there's so many other avenues for these kind of things to happen. For us to understand some of this stuff, these questions and some of this goes a long way with all of this. There is no one trick to fixing these things. It's going to take work and it takes a lot of layers. And certainly putting a focus on respect. And that is the theme for this particular Teen Violence Prevention Month.
Yep.
It's a great word. It's a great song.
It is.
But it has a lot of deeper meanings to it as well.
Yeah, so the theme is always made up by Love is Respect. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they are an agency and organization, pretty national, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
That's focused on like teen dating, violence, healthy relationships, boundaries, consent, safety planning. And it's for teens. It's for even younger than teens to start learning. It's for adults. It's for caregivers. It's for teachers. It's for everybody. But it's just a great website that has all those resources. It also has a hotline as well for teens to use. Can I plug that number?
Please
Is that
do.
okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. The number for that hotline is 866-331-9474. And if you just Google search Love is Respect, you can find their telephone number, a chat feature on their website, and then also a text feature as well. So just wanted to plug that out there since it's a great resource for anybody to use.
Yeah. A really nice one, too, when it comes to if you need something in a pinch or you need something right this second or something like that, information or just support or any of those things, it's right there. It is a really good website. And they do a nice job with that one, too. And when it comes to the theme of respect, certainly one of those things that most of us understand, well, respect is earned or respect this or respect that. We all grow up with phrases or an idea of what respect is. I don't know that we focus a lot on, I think when it comes to the word respect, we're either looking at it as we want respect or the idea of where we're supposed to give it.
Yeah.
I don't think we think enough about actually like zooming in on that. And specific types of respect. And I think one place I'd like to start, if you don't mind, is the respect for yourself.
Yes.
This is one that took me a very long time to learn. And understanding that, and not only respecting myself, but loving myself, to be blunt. And it took me into my 30s to be able to do that. Yeah. But I love the idea, one, of kids getting on that earlier and everything, and not having to wait that long, because you shouldn't have to wait that long.
Right.
But I think it's a good place to start when it comes to respecting others. It's hard to respect anybody else if you don't respect yourself.
Yep. You really have to learn about yourself, honestly, like learn about what you like and what you don't like, what you do for others and what you like that others do for you. And then once you start to respect yourself, love yourself more, care for yourself more, your heart is just going to be able to open up to another person and get everything that you're putting out into the world, into that energy, get all of that back times 10.
And all this stuff is what leads to a healthier mind, a healthier relationship with not just with a significant other, but just with friends,
anybody.
Your colleagues.
Yep.
The reason we're getting to all these things is because of the end result that it can bring. Is that and the part of the reasoning, again, statistically, for some of the issues with domestic violence stem from trauma, stem from victims making victims in some of this and other factors. So if we can get kids at a young age respecting themselves, respecting each other and their classmates and all this, those numbers go down.
Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely work for the teens to do, like to respect themselves and to, show that respect into the world as well. But it's the same thing for like us adults, us parents. We have to be modeling that as well so that they know actually what respect looks like and not just the idea of it, but the actual like actions of respect and what that can look like person to person.
It's and we think about this, I think, with young kids, but it's up until their early 20s that the brain is still growing and developing and is still a sponge and is still soaking in all this information. You can talk to your blue in the face about something, but if your actions are doing something else, that's what they're hearing. That's what they're picking up on. It's such a great note. The example we set as adults, the example that we set in society, is oftentimes where things go and can lead to. And we are finally at a place where we're talking about this stuff in a raised voice. We're not hiding in the shadows anymore. We're not being quiet about this subject. And the good amount of society is backing this, is on the right side of history with this subject. Now is the time not to take our foot off the gas, but to press even harder and to make sure that we're really hitting on these things while we can, to be blunt. I don't know where things are going to go in the future or anything. So right now is the time to be doing these things, to be on this. And obviously the Family Center understands that, and Ashley understands it, but I'm speaking to you out there, that this is the time to be part of events going on at the Family Center, to invest in the Family Center. And I know that it's called a donation. To me, it's an investment. It's an investment in the greatest thing we can invest in our future. However you feel about this stuff, the stats don't lie. You look to your left, you look to your right, more than likely you're going to see somebody that has been affected by domestic violence. That's the numbers. And the more we can reach kids, the more we can promote events like or themes like this, respect and everything, it's not just them that get better, but hopefully we get better.
Yeah. I am a really big, I just think of the idea of you put out into the world what you want to see. And so if I'm putting out all this positivity and I'm talking about healthy relationships, I'm talking about respect, I'm talking about, letting people be their own person, I would hope that that's what the world is going to be filled with. And that's kind of the way that we can start to change the path instead of always talking about the negatives, always talking about the violence. Yes, that's important. The numbers are large, and that's all that we know of from the numbers as well. There's probably hundreds of more voices that haven't been heard in those numbers. And I just want to shine that little light of hope, that positivity of the sense of, we can respect each other, and that's what's going to help us prevent violence in the long run.
You fit right in around here. It's a big part of what we try to do as well. Covering the news can be kind of dark sometimes and negative. We really try to, I have a thing where I try to wrap up every segment on a high. Every segment on a laugh or a positive or something. And it's just, we're just one small station, in the middle of a big conglomerate. But we also believe the work we do and the work that you guys do, and the more of us that do this and put that energy out there, you get what you put in life. You just do. Whether we're talking about work or we're talking about something like this, you get what you put in. You put good vibes out there, more than likely you get those back, and you put it at the very least. Again, there's no downside to something like this. There's no side effect to it.
Right.
Putting good karma out there has never had a downside. So that alone is a good feeling and a good way to do this. When it comes to the theme for the month of respect and talking to teenagers about this, what are some of the ways that you're working to kind of build that in them and help them support that and the understanding of how important it is to combat TDV?
Yeah, it's really just talking to them about what respect actually is. So what is the mindset of your viewpoints and whoever this other person is. So again, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but just somebody who maybe has a different viewpoint than you. Hear them out, listen to both sides, still stand firm in what you believe in, but let your mind be open to hearing other things. And then if you do have a disagreement with it, respectfully work around that with each other. It's a lot of talking about it's not just give and give and give out to people. You want to make sure you're getting that back too. So if it's kind of you're pouring out all this greatness and all this healthy work, maybe it's not going to be worth it if you're not getting even a little of that back. And then it's really just talking to them about really learning who they are. Who do they want to be? Who do they want to help support them in the long run? Friends, family, romantic people, whatever that might be. And they really seem to like the idea of respect and the idea of healthy relationships, just because I don't think they get talked about it in depth at school. They get told to respect each other. They get told that healthy relationships are the best, but they don't really get to see what those look like.
Yeah. Our education system has a lot on its plate.
Yes.
And this is one of those things where we hope that there's some lessons that are going on and some ability to learn this in school. I don't put that on them. And I don't necessarily put it on any one individual. This is a societal thing. Mm-hmm. This is some that, teachers and principals and people in school, along with parents and other, adults of the kids' friends and stuff, the examples we set, they're all over. Yeah. And again, these are sponges. They don't filter. It's like, well, I don't listen to this adult, but I listen to this one. No,
right.
they hear it all. They take it all in.
Yep.
And with that, the support we show to groups like this. We've, over the last couple of weeks, had a couple of different grades come in with their FACT groups. And these are groups that are in school that are trying to put an end to vaping in schools and a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And how passionate they are about this cause and how much they care about it. They had they came in, they were quite nervous. They left and they were very appreciative of adults hearing them.
Yeah.
Like they were just so thankful for that. And to be honest with you, it as good as it felt, it also hurt me a little bit that, they experienced this so little that it's that noteworthy. Let's change that.
Yeah,
let's,
literally.
Yeah, literally change that narrative. And as adults, be adults and listen to kids, listen to the younger people more and everything. It's not only important and vital to our future. It's also how you can hear the newest hip, cool words.
Right.
And you won't say hip, cool words anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, but it is one of these ways where you are actually going to be that much more in tune with them and with, I think, just the world in general, which is never a bad thing. There's no downsides to those or anything. When it comes to their feedback, when you're talking to these kids, when you're talking about respect in some of this, are you seeing support to this? Are you seeing them an open mind from their point of view on these subjects?
Yeah, definitely. I've worked at the Family Center for now about 2.5 years. And even from when I first started to now, there's been an increase in more students that are coming up afterwards even and just saying hey, I really love the topic. This was something that's so important. I know of so many other people that could benefit from this. What can I do then to help you and to help your guys' work? And so even just coming up to me afterwards, honestly, is such a big props that I am hitting something in that person to have their ears open up just a little bit more to, a harder concept sometimes, maybe something that's not exactly popular in everybody's eyes. But yeah, man, the response has just been great. And I'm so thankful for those kiddos for stepping up and even asking those questions.
Yeah, a shout out to them. Shout out to them and certainly the schools and everybody involved with this and opening their doors to this subject. I greatly appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Ashley, before we wrap up, we talk a little bit about Chefs for Change. Did you have any other notes, anything else you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, really, I think just to re-highlight what you just said, listen to the youth. They know a lot. It's their first time living, just like it was your guys' first time living that, might be a little older than the youth that I work with. But they do know their stuff. A lot of times they're going to listen to other peers when stuff is happening. They're not going to go to adults right away. They're going to go to their friends. So these friends need to know how to help them. And just listen to them. That's really all they want. And you never know what can come out of that. And that's all I'm asking for.
Well said. Very well said. Ashley, I know that you and the staff over there at the Family Center are gearing up, getting ready for Chefs for Change. It is coming up February 27th. This is an incredible event. For those that have not heard about this one, it's an appetizer competition between local culinary talents, a delicious plated dinner highlighting local sourced ingredients, signature cocktails, an amazing silent auction. And I cannot stress that enough. An amazing silent auction. Mm-hmm. Our community comes out in folds for that one. All of this going on. The excitement begins at 5. Going to have a cocktail hour where you can bid on treasures in the silent auction, savor those appetizers from these competitive chefs, and get ready for an amazing meal. You are going to enjoy this event. It'll be taking place over at the Nakusa Community Center at 416 Crestview Lane. I get very excited talking about this. I love this event. I love that it's back. Mm-hmm. I had the fortune of being able to MC it the last one we did. Yeah. And I hadn't done an event at the Family Center at the time. Mm-hmm. This is a cause that's been important to me and my family for a very long time, but until Deb and Sue kind of took me under their wing, I didn't really have a chance to do work with them. Mm-hmm. And when I walked into that room, I immediately saw our current mayor at the time. I saw the head of the Rafters, River Kings representation. I saw Sheriff Becker. I saw our current police chief at the time right away. And everybody smiling, having a good time, and enjoyed that and enjoyed seeing these leaders. But what I enjoyed the most was leaving the event and seeing those same people interacting with other people and everybody on the right side of history.
Yeah, it's great when our community can come together for the events that we have or any kind of things that we're doing and we get that reciprocation back. We just love our community partners so much and we thank them so much.
Yeah, a shout out to Paper City Savings Bank and so many other great people a part of this. And obviously, a big shout out to the volunteers and so many of these chefs and everybody coming together for this one. Mm-hmm. While I tend to be a little serious, so I do lean on that a bit, but I don't want to skate past the fact that this is a really fun event. It's a great experience. It's a great opportunity. Get out of the house, have some fun, enjoy some great food, great appetizers. And while you're doing all of that, you're going to know whether it's in the front of your mind or the back of your heart, wherever it is, that I'm investing in our future. I'm investing in one of the most important things we can invest in. I will touch on this anytime I have an opportunity, let alone when the family center's in. Our domestic violence shelters have been, their funding has been slashed, just cut so much. And any opportunity we have to help and be a part of those things, it's vital to not only the work they're doing, but it's vital to the health of our community and our kids. As Ashley was just touching on, as CC, the earlier part of this conversation. Yes. Ashley, if people do have follow-up questions, they would like to know more. Maybe they'd like to even bring you into the classroom or something along those lines. How can they reach you? How can they find out more?
Yeah, anybody is welcome to contact us for presentation needs or wants, to have an information table, like an event that's going on, or a resource table, sometimes people call those, or even just ask questions about like what abuse is, what you can do, or maybe even do some volunteer work. You can call our business line 715-421-1559 and ask for Ashley. You can also call our crisis hotline, which is kind of plastered all over the place. And then you can also email me. My email is pretty simple. It's svprevention@familyctr.org. And I can always respond back to that a little bit quicker too.
I encourage you to do that, everybody. Keep in mind that we always use volunteers over at the Family Center, whether it's for Chefs for Change or other things going on over there. While not everybody has dollars and cents they can invest, some of us have an hour or two you can invest in the Family Center. We greatly appreciate that. And again, Chefs for Change is coming up February 27th. And between us, everybody, get your tickets because they are going. Yeah. They are going fast. Get those tickets. Big shout out to Paper City Savings Bank. Everybody over at the Family Center working so hard on this event. And Ashley, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me again. We love coming here.
Looking forward to talking again real soon. Well, let's not wait so long next time. Maybe we'll get you back here sooner. FamilyCTR.org. FamilyCTR.org is the website. Be sure to follow them on social media as well. It's a great way to keep up to date on all the things they are doing at the Wisconsin Rapids Family Center. We'll be back with more Midday Magazine coming up.